Uh, oh, okay. And I don't know if I was just talking to nothing or if I was actually talking to the camera. Anyway, folks, just saw Paranormal Activity 4 release night, and the whole freaking theater was packed. I mean, I was lucky to get the seat that I got because I guess these guys were, I don't even know how, I don't even know why they got kicked out. I think they were too young or something like that, or I don't know. This lady was asking if any of them were like 21 or something like that, and they all got kicked out. So hey, that got me better seats. I was gonna stick out for them, be a nice guy and all that, but I was like, you know what? If they leave, I get better seats. So I decided to be a dickhead and not help them. Oh well, shit happens. But anyway, folks, yes, I saw Paranormal Activity 4, and what did I think of it? Well, we're going to get into that, actually. I'm not going to say it off the bat because there's some stuff I want to discuss about it. Minor spoiler warnings. I'm not going to give away the plot, if there is even a plot to give away in this one, but I'm not going to give too much away. It's going to be some general stuff, so you'll know that it happens, but you don't know when it'll happen or who exactly it affects, although I might throw a few names here and there. So anyway, Katie from the who's been pretty much in every single one of these movies is of course one of the main people, but this one follows the story. Well, not really story. It follows the segment of this girl named Alex, who is basically this 15-year-old girl who lives with her parents, and well, what do you know? She happens to get the wonderful neighbors of Katie and her son, or actually nephew, Hunter. Now, this movie it was a little confusing for me because there was some of the stuff that was in it was just a bit confusing. I don't even know if it explained it, if I missed it or what, but maybe if you guys see it, you'll actually catch on what I'm talking about. And that's, she has this other kid with her, but I thought that he was supposed to be Hunter, but for some reason there's this other kid that over time he starts calling himself Hunter, but I was like, wait, what? A little confused here. Wait, so who? Will the real Hunter please stand up? I had that going through my head. All right, and then we also have some other people. We have her mom, I believe her name is Holly. I'm looking at the list of the cast members. There's the dad, and I believe his name was Doug. And then there's this other guy named Ben, who's kind of, I guess, is like one of her friends, but kind of boyfriend. Well, not really boyfriend, but I guess he wants to date her, but she's not, I guess, ready for dating. But they kind of have that thing for each other. But it's one of those, it's complicated that you'll see on Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Let's see. That covers everybody. And then there's the other little kid who I was confused about, and his name is Robbie, but like I said, I have no idea who Robbie is. I thought he was supposed to be the kid that was abducted by Katie, but I guess it's supposed to be this other kid. But it's confusing, and I just didn't know what the hell was going on. So I just roll with it anyway, because I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I don't give a shit about plot. I just want to get scared out of my mind. And oh yeah, and trust me, there are some scary ass scenes in this. There are, I mean, barring the cheap jump scares where it's like, oh, really, you had to fucking pull that one on me? Oh, God, that was just lame. Yeah, you made me jump, but that was still fucking lame. There were some intense moments in this. I mean, you're like, oh, shit, oh, shit, oh, shit. You're kind of like, oh, God, get out of there. Why are you going there? And all this other crap. And, I mean, some of these, I mean, the main people you kind of care about. I thought Ben was funny in his own way. I mean, he was very immature for, he's one of those immature teenagers, but he's funny at the same time, and it makes him likable, so it all evens out in the end. Alex was likable enough. She wasn't like some dumb, typical teenager, although she wasn't really anything special either. The parents, they were just kind of there. I mean, they would show up here and there, but they were more of supporting characters than actual main ones. And this guy, Robbie, this little kid, who I think is Hunter, but might not actually be the Hunter because this other kid might be Hunter. So, it's one of those confusing things. Again, I'm confused because the movie didn't explain it. But whatever, fuck it. So anyway, this guy Robbie, I swear to God, is probably the creepiest kid I have ever seen in a movie. What is up with all these kids? Like, you have the one from Looper. I could see him being an Academy Award-winning actor later on in his life. Then you got these kids in the movie Sinister. All of them are fucking creepy. Of course, it may have been just the way they looked as opposed to what they actually said or did. And then you got this guy who I swear to God should be should be just like that kid in every horror movie. I mean, just wow, this guy he just says some stuff that's just like, oh shit, it leaves that oh shit imprint in your brain. You're like, oh, something's gonna go down. So anyway, and on top of that, I honestly I think if Katie was like a wrestler or a UFC fighter, like her special move, her finishing move would be like the fucking neck breaker. Because trust me, she does a lot of that. Actually, if we're counting what happened in the second one, because we do see what happened at the end of the second one again, just to kind of recap on what had happened prior to that, because this one does technically take place after the end of the second one. It's kind of got that Devil May Cry sort of lineup order because it's like the third one happens, then then the second one happens, and then the first one happens, then the end of the second one happens, and then we're on to the fourth one. So that's kind of how the timeline goes. So yeah, if you haven't seen any of the other three, if you at least haven't seen the first two, go watch the first two. You can watch the third one and still understand what the fuck is going on, because the third one it kind of left more questions than answers, really. But I have to say, there were some pretty tense moments. There were some scary moments. This has to be one of the most fucked up endings to a movie I've seen. I mean, yeah, it was kind of abrupt, but all the endings to this, minus the first one, all the endings have been kind of abrupt. I mean, it wasn't like Sopranos abrupt where just, the screen just blips out, but I felt like it kind of left on a high note, and it could, well, usually when it leaves something on a high note, that usually means it's good. But, I mean, this one, there's no real build up in this movie at all. It's just a bunch of highs and lows, which bothers me, but at the same time I appreciate the highs so much that the lows don't bother me, to the point where I'm like, okay, this movie just needs to figure out where it's going and what it's doing. But you can throw that argument at it, and it would be a valid argument to say that this movie just has no pacing to it because it's a high moment, and then it goes to a low moment, then it goes back to a high moment, and then it goes back down to a low moment. It's a fucking just zigzag pattern. It's like, a heartbeat, basically. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. I bet that happens to a lot of you guys, huh? But, anyways. So, to really, I guess, give a general summary of how this movie plays out without, going on too long, is that, like, Katie, or the next door neighbors, it's Katie, but we don't know they don't know it's Katie. They being Alex and her family, and then Robbie, or not Robbie, Ben. They don't know that it's Katie. So Katie gets rushed to the hospital because she had like some kind of accident or something. So Robbie comes over. He stays over just because they have no family or something like that. So yeah, well, we'll look after the neighbor's kid for a bit. So that happens. Once he gets there, weird shit starts happening. The demon's fucking with it's mostly Alex that's getting fucked with. The parents don't actually get screwed with until later. But actually once they, get fucked with, it's kind of a little late in the game for them to actually kind of figure out what the fuck's going on. But I would say the first half of this movie, like every other Paranormal Activity, the first half is boring. It's just a bunch of chit chat. This kid's weird, and admittedly, he does do some weird things, but it's nothing that really keeps me hooked into the movie. I kind of felt myself during, like, okay, I'm just going to let whatever happen, and then once something, like, exciting happens, then I'll, refocus my attention back to the movie. And that's the problem with these movies. The first one could get away with it because it did something that typically kind of sort of hadn't been done before. I mean, yeah, you can say it did the whole Blair Witch deal, but this one, unlike Blair Witch, was scary. I felt like Blair Witch was... It had scariness to it, but it wasn't like it didn't throw my mind through a loop. Like, holy shit, that's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. And I'm not trying to overrate the series at all. It's a good series. Well, so far it's been good, but unlike Saw, which has gone on for fucking I don't know how many movies, and they're trying to make more of them. God, you would think they would pick up the picture that people are just sick of this shit, but for whatever reason, they want to make more. I don't know. I give up on some of these movie producers and shit. So. Yeah, weird shit happens. Alex is trying to explain it to people. The only person that really sees it alongside her is her friend Ben. And even he's kind of like, you know what, I don't even... He really just doesn't even have an answer for it. He just doesn't know what the fuck. And then, like, once she starts digging into it, he's like, oh my god, this again. It's just that kid. He's just weird. Weird shit is happening because he's there, because he's a weird kid. He probably has mental problems. And then, once he's out of the house, Ben's like, I think you're just tripping. And, she's 15, so she's getting introduced to, like, medications, like birth control and all that other crap. And so the parents think that she's just wigging out because of that. It's just the stress and all that stuff. But we, the audience, know. And by the way, these movies really only seem to work when there's, like, a big audience with you. Because this is one of these movies you cannot watch alone and it have the full effect that it's supposed to have on you. There has to be, like, at least three other people with you, maybe two. You could probably get away with it too, but there needs to be a group of people watching this movie in order for its horror effect to work. And that's another thing. That basically means it's just a party movie or it's just a group movie. I mean, if you want to watch it by yourself, go ahead. But I just feel like the full effect of the movie only works when there's a group of people watching it, as opposed to one person. Two people, yeah, you get like your girlfriend or maybe a buddy or something like that. Yeah, you two can watch it together and just figure out who gets more scared between the two of you. Have a competition, whatever, or drink every time something fucked up happens. That'd be a good drinking game for this. Every time you see some shit, you see some weird shit, just take a shot or take a drink or whatever. But yeah, the ending, I'm not going to give too much away on it. Actually, I'm not going to give away any of it because this is a movie that you have to watch and not have anything really spoiled for you. So I think so far I've been pretty good. And I'm kind of getting to the closing bits of this review. So there are a lot of scares. There are a lot of good scares. There are a lot of bad scares. And there are a lot of scares that lead up to tense moments, which keep you just kind of on edge. Like you're at the edge of your seat and you're like, oh shit, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Is she going to die? Are they going to die? Is he going to die? Or are they going to make it out? Or what happens? And then that really starts going on a lot, except that it's not consistent. It's a bunch of just bits and pieces of like, oh shit, these tense moments, and then it kind of gets to a moment of calm, then it gets to a moment of tense, and then it gets to a moment of calm. Like I said, it goes on those high and low notes. But overall, I liked it more than the third one. I liked it a lot more than the third one. I felt like the third one was more funny than it was scary. I'm probably a fucked up person for saying this, but I felt like the child violence in that movie was just fucking hilarious. I was like, oh, I'm laughing my ass off, but I'm probably going to hell because, I'm laughing at children getting fucked with by demons. Wow, I'm a bad person. So yeah, like when I saw with the people that I saw with, they were just, they were laughing with me, but we're like, why are we laughing at this? We should be scared out of our minds for these kids, but we're not, because this shit's just funny. This one just, I feel like horror only works when there's like adults involved, but I mean, even then, there were some bits in this movie where I was like, they shouldn't be reacting to that way. And I mean, what I mean by that is the people in the movie, not the people watching the movie. The people watching the movie, I felt like they reacted as the way they should have. They were a fun audience. It's always nice when you see a horror movie and there's like a good audience with you that kind of gets scared with you. It makes the horror just that much better to me. But, so yes, I guess in short, I did like it. I liked it more than the third one, obviously. But when holding it against Sinister, I think I did end up liking Sinister more. So which to say is I think Sinister's been the best horror movie that's come out this year for me. But if you guys are wondering, oh god, the reviews for it were kind of mixed, they were kind of should we see it? Should we wait for it to come out on DVD? No, go see it. Get a group of friends, go see it. If you need to just do a little pot or an IOU or something like that because movie tickets are fucking stupid expensive, as are the concessions, then do that. But I mean, by all means, see this movie in theaters because these movies only work as well as they should when they're in theaters. And you should definitely see it at a late night showing. I know they're more expensive, but it's the only way this movie is going to have its best effects on you is if you see it at night. There's an audience in attendance, which means you should see it either on opening weekend or the weekend after. Because anything after that, the audiences are going to be kind of bland, unless you have those people that see it more than once because they have one group of friends that want to see it, and then they have another group of friends that want to see it, but they will not see it unless that one person goes with them. So, in short, I like this movie. It was good. Do I see where all the negativity came from? Not really. I mean, I get where some of it's coming from because it is kind of the same old like, okay, yeah, we've been here, we've done that. Does it still scare the shit out of me though? Yes, it does. This one had a better effect than the third one. In fact, it had a lot of elements from the third one that it added into this one, but made them about 100 times better because they actually just. There's a lot of shit that happens in this movie that you do expect, but at the same time you don't expect it. There's also like the timing that you expect. Like, okay, I think this is going to happen. Then it happens when you're like, well, I thought it wasn't going to happen, but bam, there it is. Wow, I wasn't expecting it to happen at that point in time. Let's see, and then there was this. This isn't really giving much away, but there is a post-credit scene. So yes, there's a post-credit scene. I missed it, unfortunately. But it's someone recording outside of a store in what appears to be Mexico with a man speaking in Spanish. He enters the store, moving around the aisle saying, witchcraft. An elderly woman suddenly appears and says, this is only the beginning in Spanish, and then the men? Wow, there's more than one apparently. The man stumbles out of the store, so I'm guessing, yes, we're going to see a Paranormal Activity 5. Joy. My question, though, to the people that are making these movies is, where is this series going exactly? Because I felt like once the demon had possessed Katie, got Hunter, and left, that was mission accomplished for that demon. All that was left, I guess, was to deliver its soul down to the the underbelly of the earth, which is hell. But I guess there's more to it than that. I mean, I guess we have this coven of witches that we saw in the third one, so WTF, mate. But anyway, I've gone on for about 15 minutes now. I want to kind of not make this too long to where it scares people out and they don't want to watch it because it's so long. But if I'm going to be perfectly blunt, honest with you guys, yes, it was good. Yes, go see it. I mean, if you've enjoyed the first three, by all means, go see this one. Why not? If you haven't enjoyed the Paranormals, well, obviously don't see them. But other than that, that's pretty much it for me. So I will see you all soon whenever I get some more reviews up or more Let's Plays. And speaking of reviews, I'm gonna start posting more horror movie reviews because fuck, it's October. We got Halloween coming up. May as well, season spirit and all that good shit. But anyway, folks, that's it from me. See you all later.